Now then, as I've just been discussing, according to the Washington Post, former President Barack Obama has told allies in recent days that President Biden's path to victory has greatly diminished, and he thinks the president needs to seriously consider the viability of his candidacy. Let's get more on that from the former US diplomat for the White House under Barack Obama, Bruen. Bruen, very good to have you on the show. How seriously do you take this latest report that your old boss, Barack Obama, has weighed in now and decisively told Joe Biden the game is up?
Well, President Obama is perhaps the most revered figure in the Democratic Party, second only to Michelle Obama. And I can assure you there is no possibility that Michelle Obama will be throwing her hat into the presidential campaign. But this is typical Obama. He doesn't necessarily come out directly and deliver that message. I think there has been an effort over the last year, in fact, to subtly send that message out through advisors, through other intermediaries, and obviously now through the classic old Washington leak, which just happened to find its way onto the front page of the Washington Post website.
You know, if you were regarding this as kind of physics or plate tectonics or something, you would think that the pressure for Biden to go is now irresistible. Day by day, almost hour by hour, there comes another voice saying it's time to go. And yet, you know, he is pretty determined. He is pretty stubborn. How do you read the position at the moment?
Well, take into account, I was one of the early voices, in fact, well before this, that said Biden should not seek re-election. He should be, as he promised, a transition president, pass the baton to the next generation. So I will be biased in the analysis, but I do think it is inevitable that Biden, quite frankly, has painted himself into a political corner and that there is simply no way out. And what I said a few weeks ago is now coming true, is you will have members of Congress who are saying this is not just about losing the presidency, it's about losing control of the House of Representatives, the Senate, and my own seat. And so, quite frankly, the reverberations are just too great for Biden to be able to hang on.
And we've had Chuck Schumer coming in as well. And there are rumours that we might even get an announcement accepting the reality from the president as early as this weekend. He's gone down with COVID, which gives him, as it were, a reason to say something now. Again, what's your view?
I think it's convenient in this case that COVID arrived just at the right political moment. The president also was said by some reports this week to accept for medical reasons that he might not be able to seek a re-election. Ultimately, I think this is about preparing the transition to Kamala Harris and then ultimately figuring out who will be Kamala Harris's running mate. The best case scenario, in my view, is that we would see Harris alongside somebody like Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who is the governor of Michigan, a critically important state, somebody who has been able to win over both Democrats and Republicans. And it would be quite the contrast to two white men running alongside two women of diverse backgrounds. And I think it would be a strong ticket for the Democrats to hold both the presidency and maybe even sweep one of the houses of Congress.
That would be very, very interesting. Just briefly, is it inevitable if he steps down that Kamala Harris becomes the candidacy, or could we have what's called an open conference to choose somebody else?
Not inevitable, but I think there will be quite a lot of pressure. And in the United States, as you know, both from a gender standpoint, from a diversity standpoint, it will be very hard to look past Vice President Harris.